Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
Mornings at the cabin, indeed. And it's still a dark morning because daylight savings time is a big old dippity-doo. That's the swear word I'm going to use for the rest of the week. Dippity-doo. Yes, isn't it exciting?
Maybe we'll hear that in the kitchen this morning.
Yes, we will. We will. Well, you know what? We might actually hear some real swears in the kitchen. We are doing a little, it's an Ollie and Jesse off once again. Now, let's retitle that. Another competition between Jesse and Ollie. What are we doing?
We're going baking.
We're going baking.
Skills Canada is getting us to go baking at the kitchen at Sir John Franklin. And we don't know what we're baking. Probably we won't be able to tell at the end what we have baked.
Here's the thing, though. I'm a better baker than I am a cook. Baking makes a little bit more sense to me because it has to be exact. When you're cooking and you're working with flavors and it's just like, throw in a dash of this, and then it's like, well, it's too salty. It's like, throw in some honey, or it's too sweet, throw in some salt. I mean, that's kind of basic, but then there's stuff like, toss in a pinch of tarragon and a pinch of, throw in a bay leaf. Like, when people throw bay leaves into something, I'm like, why? What? And then you just take it out later? That doesn't make any sense.
So theoretically, what could go wrong this morning?
We could explode a kitchen. It's possible. Or like a cake. I think you can, if you make it wrong, it will explode.
That would be amazing.
That would be pretty amazing. I believe the record right now is Wheeler 20, Ollie 2. I think that's where we're at.
Why not?
Is that what it is?
It's like 7-3 or something.
7-3, something like that. Yeah. So we got this. We have to do the archery one too. But baking today, 9 o'clock at Sir John. Chaos.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Wheeler, Ollie, Lecter with you on your Thursday morning. That's right, it's Thursday, which also is Thursday. So it's fitting that the new Avengers Endgame trailer dropped. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about invincible welders. Ollie, can you fill us more in on this this remarkable story?
I don't know a massive amount, but what I do know is that yesterday there was a pretty big explosion at a Bob's Welding building in Inuvik. And it emerged that two people were welding a fuel tank that exploded, and they're fine. Now, all right, you think, okay, there's an explosion in the fuel tank. Maybe it blew a certain way or whatever. The guys are fine. Look at the building.
It's nuts. Like one wall is completely blown off. The other wall is lying on its side. It's like the entire building is gone, basically. Like it's a write-off. The building.
Component parts are all still there, but they are not as previously assembled.
That's right.
At all,
That's right. It
like
looks like an IKEA building that is half assembled.
Like the wall is off to one side. There's a gaping hole in it.
Yeah.
You think, hang on a minute.
How do you come out of that without a scratch?
Yeah.
It's not like they escaped with minor injuries. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with you.
They walked away from it. We phoned up, we checked it out, and I honestly, I don't even know how they walked away. Won't imagine they were blown about 50 feet, given the look of the thing.
That's right. And I mean, when you called them up, was like, are these the welders that were involved? Sorry, I can't hear you. Can you speak a little louder?
Sarah reported on the story, so I don't know, but I do know that.
No, everything's fine. No, we're good. I can barely hear you.
No kidding. We spoke to the company. They're like, totally. Like, it's just everything's fine. We don't fully understand. They said like why this happened, but everybody's good.
Well, I mean, when you start it with like welding a fuel tank, I mean, but I mean, like obviously, like these guys are professionals and they were doing their jobs, and it's incredible. The picture is incredible. Go to cabinradio.ca to check out the picture. You would not believe that someone would walk away from that unscathed. It's incredill. So they grow them pretty tough up in Inuvik.
Exactly. It's the kind of thing that would be a bigger deal in the news, I think, if it happened in Yellowknife. There would be like a lineup of people just driving to see the building.
I'm hoping that Des has these welders on his show because I don't know why. I mean, just to be like, ask them what happened. So what went through your mind when the building exploded?
3 pieces of iron, piece of wood, some shrapnel.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm just looking at the picture for the first time now.
It's insane.
It looks like there's a tree beside the building or kind of like in front of that explosion area, and that tree got absolutely decimated.
Yes, that's right.
So
it's about to fall over. The wall is about to fall over. One whole wall is missing.
It just looks like a raggedy pole kind of standing in front.
Yeah. That is
Oh
incredible.
my God.
When I saw that last night, I just saw the picture. I was like, ooh, that's bad. That's I hope everyone's okay. And then you read it, and it's like, oh yeah, they're fine.
But so no major injuries.
No minor injuries, apparently.
No injuries,
Wow.
period. Apparently.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's incredible.
It's nice when a story like this happens and you can actually have fun with it because everyone
I know.
got out okay.
Unlike all those other exploding building stories where we're like,
where people
this
get
is just
injured.
another drag. Oh, God.
I've only just seen the tree that you're talking about. Yeah, that tree took a beating.
Oh yeah.
And we don't have the names of the two employees, but they went to the hospital, they were checked over and cleared to work. Not only were they not injured, they were like, oh yeah, you guys can go back to work.
Oh yeah, we got another good 2 hours left.
I feel like
in this day.
yeah, exactly. It's like you guys got to finish up that other job, right?
Go back to work where?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen the building?
Yeah, you guys had to finish that gas tank, and then there was that other gas tank. So if you guys
somehow the fuel tank survived too. So guys, if you could just get back on there.
Yeah, just get back on work, guys.
It's a heck of a welding job now.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few pieces over there. Look, there's a few pieces over there. There's some in a clavic.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go and get them.
Are you guys still at the hospital? Like, get back to work.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
We are doing a bake-off at 9 o'clock at Sir John. This is part of Skills Canada, yes?
Yes.
Good, thank you. That's all I need from you. We have been doing these competitions since we started here. I am in the lead by at least 4, maybe 5, possibly 6.
I think it's 5-2.
I think it's 7-3.
7-3.
Yeah.
91-89 and 3 seconds left in the fourth.
There we go. That's it. I'm about to throw up a Hail Mary shot in the form of lemon cakes. I don't know what I'm going to be making.
Yeah,
but
who knows?
I think they're going to give us something. I imagine they're going to give us something quite simple. Chocolate chip cookies. Maybe a cake.
Do you have a sense of what's the order of things here? Are they going to give you something that you both have to make, or are you each making your own thing?
I think they're going to give us the same thing and see which is better.
Okay.
You know what? It would be a very entertaining surprise if they just said, all right, hand over your phones.
Yeah.
And now bake
Go for
something.
it. Yeah. Oh, that would be.
That'd be really fun.
I honestly think we would look at each other, and then that would be a really tricky. I would not know what to do.
And the first thing I would say is like, is it baking powder or baking soda that you use for this?
Well, and how much? Just like pouring, like just emptying a box of baking soda out, and like, all right, yeah, that's good. And then some like, I just need some flour, I guess. And then like, people put eggs in this stuff, right? Yeah,
that's right.
In goes some eggs.
I would say 4 cups of flour, a couple eggs, a cup of sugar, a tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon of baking powder, and
a whole thing of vanilla extract.
Vanilla extract, at least a whole thing. I mean, it's not that expensive, so just use it.
Do either of you have like a back pocket baking recipe, a dish?
No, I don't. That's the thing. Like I can almost make waffles from memory now.
Really?
But I still have to pull.
I don't know if is that baking?
No, it's not baking, really. I guess
you probably don't get to use a waffle iron.
Well, no, it's kind of baking, though. I mean, you are mixing something up.
That's
like
true.
That. But I mean,
you'd still win in a contest against me if it was from scratch. I got nothing. I got nothing in the locker. I'm good at following recipes, I think, and things like that. But I haven't got anything upstairs in my head right now.
No.
Where if you told me this morning at 9 o'clock, all right, Ollie, bake something. I would just have to guess. I would just absolutely have to be like, I think this makes a cake.
I think so.
I'm going to put some milk in this and some eggs. Wait a minute. No, this is scrambled eggs. No, back we go.
I'll throw some cheese in there.
Some peppers.
Yeah.
I've made banana chocolate chip muffins more than a few times now, but there's something about baking where it just nothing sticks in the brain as far as order and ingredients and amounts go.
It has to be exact.
Yeah, I have to Google the recipe every time.
Like I can throw in a chicken breast into a frying pan and be like, and have a pretty good idea of like, okay, salt, pepper, little cayenne. Like I can make a nice chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
But like, you asked me to make a cake, and I'm like, I've made a cake. You know, I've made a cake a couple dozen times in my life.
But I made a million cakes. Don't remember how to do it.
Yeah, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. So this is going to be very interesting. I'm still going to win.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting.
I feel like if there's one thing that Ollie versus Wheeler competitions are missing, it's promo.
We don't do a lot of
We
promo.
need you two to throw down, deliver some pro wrestling style promos.
All right.
What are you going to do to each other when you get out there?
See, I think this would be very good because I'll come in and I'll like with my experience, my memories of like watching, Hulk Hogan or Macho Man, like come out with a good, like strong, something, brother.
That's right.
I'm going to be 4 cups of flour.
That's what I'm talking about.
Blah, blah, blah. And Ollie, and not to take anything away from you, you're going to be very gentlemanly, I would imagine. Well, you see, the thing is, I'm going to be in this company. I think you would be very British.
You know what? That works though.
I think it would be
Lord
great.
William Regal.
Well, the thing is, he can take me down with like a couple of words. Ollie's invincible.
It's an effective promo.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Like Ollie is very cutting with what he says to anybody, almost all the time. You're very much
blustery.
I'm blustery, and I'm a lot more broad. And we just did get a message from Crystal Mellinson. 1 second, I'm just going to look it up. She's giving us a basic cake recipe.
Oh,
and that changes everything.
So basic cake ratio 1 to 1 to 1 to 1. So
what?
1 part eggs, 1 part flour, 1 part sugar, 1 part butter. Add equal weight of each. There you go. There's your basic cake.
I would have. So
it's like 3 eggs, 3 cups of flour, 3 butters, and 3 sugars.
3 tubs of butter.
3 tubs of butter. 3 pounds of butter. Oh my God, that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
We'll try that this morning.
Let's do that.
So far in this, we've done. The first thing we did was the carpentry thing.
Yes.
That was relatively entertaining. Making little sawhorse things. You did win.
Yep.
Disgrace. Then the hairdressing. Which
I won.
The fact that we found live volunteers allowing us to cut their hair.
Still remarkable.
Oh, still wonderful.
Good for them. I haven't heard or seen from either of them. I'm assuming they went into hiding.
No, Chad's around. We see him every Wednesday at trivia.
Okay.
Hair's looking pretty good.
So one of them is still with us.
Well, Patrick left town after you gave him a haircut.
Immediately.
Oh, after I gave him a haircut. I was Patrick's haircut. Damn it. No, Patrick lives in he's in Ontario now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in hiding.
Yeah,
Went north of Sault Ste. Marie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So mixed outcome.
Mixed reviews on that one.
Okay. And then here we go with
well, we've done another one. We did the
you did the art battle.
Art battle, which I also won. And then we did the mud run, which you won because you were able to make it up that last obstacle on your own. I had to climb.
The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
I won.
No, you didn't.
Did you? No,
I absolutely
Ollie
did.
won that one.
No. They said form-wise and athleticism, I win.
Oh, he choked you out.
Come on. Forget how that ended.
Let him choke. Well, yeah, because you choked me out.
That's right.
I don't really remember any of that.
So I feel like I'm relatively sure you are going to be better at baking than me.
I eat more than you.
But at the same time, I feel like neither of us is a particularly strong contender.
Here is the thing. Your partner is a wonderful baker cook. Like remember the pretzels that they brought in the last party. Those were amazing.
And all the Christmas baking.
And all the Christmas baking. Like you've got the inside track on that. Like Phoenix is a great baker as well, but I don't get to talk to her before I go to this competition. Sarah's right outside this door.
It's true. Sarah, you guys probably don't even know this. Sarah actually baked a bunch of stuff and sent it to us after last summer, and it stayed in our. It stayed at the post office for a month.
No!
We don't check our mail that often.
Oh no!
And what did you bake again? Cinnamon buns. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, were they still good when we found them?
No, they were not.
Oh.
No, and that was they came with a lovely little card as well and everything for everyone to say, "Hey, here you go, you guys. It was a pleasure hanging out with you." And we let them rot for a month and a half at Canada Post, and everyone was very sad.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Friend of the show, Etienne Crotu, is selling his tiny house for 75 G's. It's the little house that's right across from Wildcat Cafe, right? It's right next. It's on just off of.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Okay.
Not
well,
familiar.
It's on a trailer. It's a. Well, I mean, we've all seen tiny homes.
Yeah.
Right. And this intrigues
just
me.
tucked away in the corner.
Tucked away in the corner.
So
well, you can move
miss.
it. It's on a trailer. You can move it anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Just put it in someone's backyard. Now this intrigues me because I like the idea of a tiny house. I'm not sure how long I could live in one, but that's affordable. $75,000. That's affordable.
You gonna put in a bid?
I don't know. I don't know if I'll put in a bid, but the idea of paying $400,000 for a trailer doesn't really intrigue me that much. What I'm like, like making a go of it back here in Yellowknife and like being here for the long haul, you start obviously thinking about what you're going to do, buying a house. You know, we all love a house out in Grace Lake for $1 million, whatever. I just want a house that's affordable, that's not going to fall apart. You know, and a tiny house for me anyway is an option. It's not for Phoenix. Phoenix doesn't want that, but like, so I don't think I can convince her. But I wanted to ask you guys. You guys think you could do a tiny house?
Absolutely.
Lecter, not you first. Oh yeah, you think so?
Yep.
Yeah,
completely could. In my second year at university,
you lived in a cabin.
Pretty much lived in what would equate to the same square footage as a tiny house,
like
and loved it.
Yeah,
like you could pretty much touch every wall standing in the middle of the room.
Wow.
And
did you have a Murphy bed?
No, it was just a regular bed, just like crammed in a corner.
Huh.
And just like, yeah, it was basically, you had to shuffle to get like anywhere.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I genuinely miss it sometimes because you knew where everything was. You only had a finite amount of space, so you couldn't just collect junk.
Yeah.
You had to be really careful with
it's like a little cocoon.
And it was just like, right, here's my stuff, here's my little desk, chair, here's my little kitchen area, here's the sink, and there's a little shower and a toilet, and then everything is exactly where it needs to be. And there's only so much space, so don't go getting any more stuff.
I imagine that speaks to your work ethic. Not that like people who have big houses don't have a work ethic, but the fact that you don't allow yourself a ton of downtime. Does that space kind of serve that a little bit?
I don't know. I mean,
you're kind of on
what
the
are you
go
going to
all
do
the
with your
time.
downtime? What do you want to do? Do you want to read? Do you want to watch TV? How much space do you need for that?
I kind of want to be wrapped in cellophane and put in a little cocoon until I metamorphosize into something else.
Can still be done in a tiny house.
That's right.
So there's, to be honest, like unless your idea of downtime is like galloping around your many mansion rooms, you know, on the back of a rocking horse or something. Like
sounds pretty good. On the back of a real horse.
Back of a real horse. Yeah, I mean that would be a struggle in a tiny house.
Yeah.
Lecter, could you do it?
Well, I'm one of those lazy big housers.
You lazy big house.
Born into money.
No. I think I was making
house.
no, not at all. I was making the connection between Ollie and the tiny house, not necessarily just people who work hard in tiny homes.
I see.
Just because Ollie is, I don't know, he keeps it fairly simple.
He does keep it simple. He keeps it real too.
Keeps it real.
Yeah.
He's Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's right.
He's also a knight in Satan's service.
I feel like I could have at a certain point in my life, if I was still a bachelor and didn't have two dogs.
Yeah, two big dogs.
I probably could have made a go of it. But as my life stands right now, no,
probably
I don't
not.
think that'd be something I'd be looking for.
I think it's something you kind of have to get used to, and then maybe you could like adapt a family into it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people do it, right? I mean, there's houseboats that are that size.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the tiny home was about twice the size of the one that Etienne is selling, I think maybe.
Right.
But to be able to like put it on a truck and like haul it somewhere else, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
it's all self-contained.
I'm very intrigued by the tiny homes movement, especially the pushback against it.
Oh yeah,
has been really entertaining.
Well, the pushback is so funny. It's just, I mean, yeah, like we all must have.
People want to live more frugally. How terrible!
How terrible of them! They're ruining the economy.
Selfish jerks.
Those selfish millennials, just ruining all the economies with their frugalness and not being able to afford $500,000 homes and 30-year mortgages. How dare they?
Ruining everything.
Yeah.
Do you believe or do you want to buy a house? Like, is that a thing that you still want to do?
Yes. I mean, I think I would. I mean, yes, I would love to own a house.
Why?
I see. That's the thing. I don't know. I think it's like the programming. It's like this is something you do, and then, but when you hear that from people who are like getting married, you're like, oh God, don't get married. What is wrong with you? And I've heard that from friends where it's just like, hey, like, you know, you have that conversation with like, did you see how this was going, or like, did you see that this was how. Is this how you wanted it to go? And I've had a friend literally say to me, "It's like, well, it's what you do, right? You go to high school,
and that's just such a
you go to college,
bad answer.
You meet somebody, you get married, and you start a family. It's like that is the worst answer. And what's great is that it is starting to come around where it's just like, whenever you get your college degree is fine. Whenever you buy a house is fine. Whenever you get your first job is fine. If you don't find your favorite career until you're 50, that's fine.
But you're still using the word whenever as opposed to if.
Yeah, well, if. Yeah, as opposed, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Why should buying a house even be a thing that has to happen sometime?
Well, I mean, it's about equity. really. I mean, that's all it's really about. It's about you having something of value that you own, that you can borrow against. Is something. It's like, I own this house, so now if something bad happens, I can borrow money against this thing that I own and pay for this other thing. And I mean, it is part of like the process. I think owning property has obviously been, since property has been a thing, has been part of human existence. You own property. That's something that you should do. You start a family. And you own
for
property.
a very, very select few humans.
Of course.
Like, the vast majority of humans were owned by other humans and therefore didn't own a hell of a lot of property.
That's right. So that's something that's still kind of in our lifetime is still kind of very pressured on us to do. This is part of the process. You get married, you have a family. You even the baby making thing. I'm still kind of like, why? Like, must we? I mean, to share love with another human being is a very important thing.
Must we? Is that how that goes in the bedroom? Must we?
I mean, we've had the conversation. We've obviously had this conversation, but I mean, it's one of those things where it's another one of those steps. Like, we check that off the box. We've had kids. Okay, we've got a family. We've got a house. Now we have to save for retirement.
Right.
Like, I know people that are like saving. They are going to be retiring by their mid-40s because they've taken care of their money so well.
Right.
And I'm like, I spent my 20s acting and living hand to mouth, and I don't have any savings. I'm a pathetic adult. But that thing plays on my insecurity as an adult person because I don't have a house. I don't have a ton of savings. I don't have a lot saved up for my retirement, so I feel like a failure.
Yeah.
And that
you did,
is
on the
something
other
that
hand,
plays with me.
Yeah, you did, on the other hand, like, have a whole bunch of experiences and enjoy them all. Which, if that's not the point of being on the planet, then what is? 'Cause
Exactly.
If the point of being on the planet is equity, then my word, that's a sad day.
But that seems to be it. Especially in Western culture. It's just like we're supposed to own stuff, and we're supposed to check all these boxes as we move through life. And slowly that is starting to change. But then you have attitudes like that, like where like millennials or whatever you want to call them don't want to buy $500,000 houses. And it's like, well, the housing market's really going to suffer because of that. It's like, well, then the housing market is not very good in the first place.
Yeah. The housing market needs to do a better job if the housing market is not attractive enough for people to be in it.
Exactly.
Isn't it funny, though, that when those stories come out about, some person who's like 30 years old and they've bought a $500,000 house and paid it off and they're like set for the rest of their life pretty much. And the rest of us are like, ugh, what a jerk.
What a jerk. No,
we get resentful.
No, I don't. I'm not resentful of.
No,
of
I don't mean you necessarily.
No, I know.
But as a whole, we kind of we look at that and we're like, ugh, yeah, well, what have you done in your life up to this point, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, they're taking care of. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it's you could own that house, and tomorrow the housing market could collapse, and that thing that you own could be worth nothing.
I think the moral of the story is that we're all just living in chaos and don't really know what we're doing.
Yeah, we're just a bunch of higher primates trying to figure it out, man. So wherever you want to live in a Quonset hut, you want to live in a tiny house, you want to live in an igloo, great.
I did not think this would be this profound break.
This is great. No, this is great. These are the breaks we should have the morning show. Someone's just like someone's took a bite of their toast and has stopped chewing because we're talking. This is like, really? This is what you want to talk about in the morning? Yeah, I do.
Usually they stop chewing because they're choking, of course.
Which means we should ban food because there's a chance you could choke on it.
Safety first.
Safety first. I don't care how well food has done to keep people alive. If there's a chance of choking on it, what's the point?
Yeah.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
We found out recently that the NWT will be getting 911 after legislation was passed by territorial politicians, which means Yellowknifers will soon be able to misuse the service. Remember, don't call 911 if, say, the McDonald's is out of coffee. It happens.
That's not an emergency?
That's not an emergency.
Okay.
Don't call 911 if your dog goes missing. Also not an emergency.
Oh, people are going to do that.
Of course they're going to do that. Someone's going to call, the spring thaw will happen. Someone's going to call 911 for the dog poop at Tin Can Hill. You guys said there's a lot of dog poop out here.
Still hung up on this McDonald's out of coffee thing.
Are you?
I feel like if McDonald's is out of coffee, call the Cabin Radio rant line.
That's right.
We need to know about that.
We do need to know about it.
867-675-0100.
867-675-0100.
867-675-0100.
And I felt bad because I talked over Scott saying it.
Oh.
So I felt the need to make sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
We're not playing this game on live radio. So I'm thinking we have 911 for emergencies, and
Yes.
maybe we should ask the territorial government, can the cabin radio rant line have like 912?
Oh, very good.
And then people who are like, oh, I just don't know, this is like borderline.
Yeah.
They could just go for 912.
Yeah, but something like this will happen then.
No, you got the wrong number. This is 912.
We don't want that to happen. I don't want people calling us with their emergencies and figuring out that this is just the rant line. It's like, oh, what would you like to rant about? I just got into a car accident. It was like, well, I mean, was it your fault?
But it's okay because we can't actually receive their call.
That's right.
Right, it'll just
Not
go
yet.
to a voicemail.
Not yet.
And they just get to let off a little steam.
Yeah.
You don't actually have to deal with them.
We can have a little
Well, what
notice
if-
on the
what if it's an
voicemail that says,
emergency?
you know, that if this is a genuine emergency, thanks for calling 912.
Yeah.
Like, if this is about dog poop or, like, just something that you don't really like, then please carry on. If anyone looks like they're bleeding, please redial 911.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Legislation states anyone refusing to pay the fee that will, because it's going to cost us some money to get 911, obviously, could be fined up to $1,000 or up to $10,000 in the case of a corporation.
How much
Similar
does it
fees
cost
and
to
charges.
get 911?
What does it cost? Services operated at full cost recovery basis, which means the territorial government and telecom companies will recoup 911's cost through a fee added to the bills of those companies' customers. Boo!
But
The
as the person who
people
wrote the
pay
words that you're
again.
reading out loud, which I would just tell you, we don't know yet.
We don't know.
Okay.
What the fee is going to be, but it's going to be like suitably tiny. It's going to be the same as what you were paid. Like I imagine a lot of people here have had a cell phone in another part of Canada. Whatever you paid for 911 there, it'll be the same here.
I bet you $10. I bet you $10. I bet you $10. Bell and other big ones, they had like a $5 fee to your thing. Oh, you got 911, $5.
Well,
And they'll call that a nominal fee, but really that's not. That's
whatever
that's
it
a
is
lot.
down south, because I imagine Bell are very tired of 911 related class action lawsuits in the Northwest Territories and really don't want to overcharge anyone again.
Absolutely, all these big telecom companies really respond well to what people think about them.
Well, they do when they have to settle for millions of dollars.
They don't care.
Is this the time for 911? We're trying to get a new pool. We can't afford all this.
Guys, we need a new pool. That KFC's not going to build itself. Which is still the only guaranteed one that we're getting right now, as of right now. So let's not pay for 911. Let's hold off on 911 for a bit till that KFC gets
Yeah. Call 912.
912.
Rant about that a little bit.
That's right. So 911, hopefully, I mean, when is it supposed to be coming in there?
It's supposed to be coming in June.
June?
I would say there's like a 50-50 shot that's going to happen.
And it's going to be available in 11 official languages in all 33 communities. That's going to be tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that will probably end up working in practice is there will be as many interpreters and translators available at any one time as is possible. If someone calls using a language where someone is not immediately available, they'll try and pass people down a call tree to somebody more local to them who can speak that language.
Oh, wow.
And they'll have context for that. Now, in practice, I think, you're probably going to find there's going to be a couple of broken links in that chain sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But also in practice, the likelihood of having to field too many calls in all 11 official languages, I think most people in the NWT, frankly, operate under the assumption that it'll be in English, even if they'd prefer to use another language.
Yeah, fair
That's
enough.
what the committee heard when they were touring around communities to get feedback on this. Most people in the communities were assuming that they were going to have to use English to phone the service anyway. So I imagine the number of calls they'll get that they cannot find someone to deal with will be quite small. But it's still like, I don't think it's going to be as simple as there are 11 people standing by, each one ready to take a call in a different
working
language.
24 hours a day.
Exactly.
Tirelessly. Well, another option would be like an automated system. Like you call up and it's like, what is the nature of your emergency? Press 1 for this. Press 2 for
you
this.
imagine?
You have selected regicide. If you know the name of the king or queen being killed, press 1.
You'd be there for such a long press. There are 11 languages, so it'd be like press 10. You pressed 1. No, I didn't. I'm going for 0.
I don't want English.
Now I'm in Welladay Yachty, and I really wanted English. Now it could be a while.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.